Welcome everyone to our Accudemia monthly session. We are so excited to be seeing you all today and to bring you this information about Accudemia. So a little bit of housekeeping before we start, just a quick note of our agenda. We are going to be going over our Tech Talk that is going to be presented by Mark this month, who is going to be talking about a newer feature, the Accudemia email campaigns. So hopefully learn something new about that and how it might be useful for your center. We'll take questions on that, and then of course we'll open it up for a general Q&A, and we'll get into how to ask questions if you're not familiar with that process. And then finally, we are going to be doing our user spotlight, which we have a few folks from Chaffey College. So we are really excited to be hosting them today to talk about their experience with Accudemia. And of course, we have our upcoming webinar. So this month's or next month's event is going to be promoting the success of non-traditional students, the BAP model, and our speaker is going to be Dr. Hunter Boylan. He is a Claudia Fellow, a professor and director emeritus of the National Center for Developmental Education at Appalachian State University. He's 50 years of experience. He is really, really great. We're so excited to be hosting his session. That is going to be on July 10th. So we're doing the second week of July, since of course the first week, I'm guessing a lot of folks are going to take off for the holiday. And that first Thursday is July, right before the holiday as well. So here is the link to sign up if you would like to do that. So registration, as always, is free but limited. We are going to be hosting that at Thursday, July 10th at 1 o'clock Eastern. And then, of course, we have our live event in October. This is going to be the Engineerica Academic Center Summit. This is a combination academia training, and we also offer general professional development, including breakout sessions, which we are still accepting proposals for. These can be breakout sessions related to academia or not related to academia. We just want to provide a well-rounded experience for all attendees. Our keynote speaker is going to be Dr. Sandra McGuire. We are going to showcase some latest advances in academia, as well as lots of connection and networking opportunities. We have an excursion plan to Winter Park, also a visit to UCF's SARC, the Student Academic Resource Center planned. So that's going to be really, really awesome. And like I said, we are still accepting proposals until the end of the month. If you do want to present at the conference, I can go ahead and hand things over to Mark. Just a quick note, if you do have any questions at any point in time, you can put those in the meeting chat and we will be happy to take those at the end of Mark's presentation. All right, thank you so much. Take it away, Mark.
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel. So today we're going to be going over one of Accudemia's new features, which is the email campaigns. So you guys may have seen, like in the top bar, we've got some new icons there. So that's going to direct you to where this is at, but we're going to actually kind of cover this in today's presentation, and it'll show you kind of all the cool features that it kind of entails. So the options that you get for our campaigns, we're just going to cover those and then we'll show you what they look like in the system. But what we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to create new email campaigns. We could then manage our campaign templates, which will allow us to create those or maybe edit them. We can also clone campaigns. So let's say you have something that's very similar and you only have to do a couple tweaks. You might be able to duplicate that and use the clone option. We also have it to where you can preview them, so you can actually take a look at what they're going to look like once they're received by the set of group of people that you're sending it to, which will cover what groups you're able to send these to as well further on. And then the last part is going to be the view email logs, and that's going to show you kind of like all of the different emails that got sent out based on the group you sent, so you can verify if somebody's received that by checking that view email logs. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to drag over my window of Accudemia here. Let's see if this works out. So you guys should be seeing this now. And with this, this is the new create screen. We're going to go in and start from the home page though. So that new icon that I was talking about is in this top bar. We can click on centers up here, and then you guys will see the email campaigns right here. Once we click on that, we'll be brought to our landing page where it'll show us all of our active campaigns. we can actually see all of the different options that I was referring to on that last slide if I select one of these. So we get our options to clone, preview, view email logs for a specific campaign, or we can do a new campaign or manage our email templates. So those are kind of the different things that we are able to do. Once we start building out one of these, we'll be able to kind of, use some of these different options. So to kind of get us on the right path to get our first email campaign set up, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new template. And how to create a new template is we're going to need these key fields that I have on this slide here. So it requires a template name, the email subject, and the content. And this content can actually use key fields. And these key fields are kind of like the same things that are in the email templates where you can use like a specific tutor's name or student's name, like different key fields that we have in there. And we'll take a look at those when we start building out our campaign. And then the last things that you can do for the template is you can save it as a draft. Maybe you're not done working on it just yet. You want to keep it as something that's not ready to use as a template. So you save it as a draft. Or if it's ready, you're cool with this being used for a campaign, we can then use the save as template, and that's going to finalize your template there. And we're going to drag that window back over here. And how you would be able to access these templates is we're going to use that manage email templates on the top, one of those options we had. And you can see here, it's going to show you a landing page of all the templates. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a new. And basically, it's requiring all these key fields. Something else to note is you can change the location. So maybe this is used for a specific center. You could change that there. But then we're going to just kind of create these, tests here. So I'm just going to say that this is our advising email template number 2. And we can go ahead and create like some sort of, fake text here, just because we're going to be seeing this in the system. So I'm going to say advising center, get that spelled correctly. And we're just going to say testing the new email templates, just so you guys can get an idea of what that's going to look like when we apply this. You can see that we do have those key fields that I was mentioning, so you can use the specific first name and last name for the person that it's going to, as well as their email. Anything related to the course, this is if you're sending it to a specific group of people in a subject area. And then our next option is going to be groups, because those are going to be our 2 options that we're going to be discussing. So you can either send it to a subject area or a group, and those can be referenced with these key fields. And then lastly, we can also reference the Accudemia URL, which is going to be pulled from your instance, your domain, and then the current date would be the date that it's being sent on. So we can go ahead and what we can do is just maybe say, hey, and then we'll include like maybe their first name, and that would be a good way to use that key field. If we're all set with this email, we can go ahead and then save as template. We do have that save as draft if we weren't ready to use it, but we're going to go ahead and use this so we can create a campaign. And we just want to go ahead and give a little refresh here. I believe if we go into our templates for the actual all location, that's what was making it, because we've got it set to Mark University. So that's something to note as well. We can use these filters on the left here to make sure that we're only looking at templates that apply to maybe the specific location you're looking at. Some other kind of filters on the left here are if they're a draft. So if they weren't ready and maybe you were wondering where your template went, maybe it got saved as a draft. That's something to note as well. So now that we have that created, we're going to go back to our email campaigns, and we're going to bring our slides back over. So I'll drag this. So we successfully created that template, and we can now create our new email campaign. Now we have a few fields on here to make sure that we create this. We've already kind of discussed some of these because we were mentioning those key fields, but we do have to create a campaign name, and we'll assign a location similar to how we assigned the template. And then we can go ahead and set the recipients of the email, and that's what we were mentioning with those key fields. So we could do it by students enrolled in a specific subject area or users that are in a specific existing group. And then we can actually send this now or later, or not have it scheduled at all. And not having it scheduled at all is just to have it saved. You can have it fully built out, and once you maybe get the date that you want this set for, you can go in and edit that after. And then lastly is going to be our email content. We can create a new template when we create a new email campaign, or we can use that existing. So we've kind of already got that set up for ourselves. So we're going to be using that when we create this campaign. So I'm going to drag our Accudemia window back over. And you guys can see I've already got one here, but we're going to create a new one. And we're going to want to call this our advising campaign. And we can set this, I'm going to leave it as Mark University just because we're left our template as that. To give you an idea of these recipient groups, we have students enrolled in the subject area or existing groups, so you'll be able to toggle between the two. And what happens is you'll get a drop-down menu of all of your subject areas here. So if I go ahead and click on Calculus 1, we could see all the students that are enrolled. And maybe you're not sure exactly if that includes everyone. You can actually click the show list and it'll show you all the students enrolled there. Same thing goes for the existing groups. So I clear out my subject area there, put it over to existing groups. And then I can go in here and I can actually select like math students and see that we've got 3 in there as well. So once we have our group selected, we could then choose when the email is going to be sent. So we can send it now, schedule it for later, not have it scheduled. Maybe we're going to set this date at a different time. If you do schedule for later, though, it does allow you to have this date picker, and you could schedule this, at any specific, time. So we could say maybe it's at night, or maybe it's going to go out in the middle of the day. And then our right side here is going to be where we can create that new template. So this is all of the different fields we saw in that last section that we were building out the template. But if we use the use existing, we can then select our advising email number 2. And you can see that it's filled in with our name, our email subject, and it's got that testing the email templates with that key field that we put in. So it kind of automatically builds this out so that you're able to do this kind of quick if you're constantly using the same template for these campaigns. Now that we have all of the required fields, we can either preview, which will give us an idea of what it's going to look like in an email format to the users, or we can go ahead and click Save Changes. And then now that we've saved this, you can see that there's different statuses here. These can also be filtered on the left, but you can see that the scheduled is in blue and it gives us the date, whereas like if it was sent, it would be in green, also giving the date, letting you know exactly when it was sent. Now we can kind of use some of those first features that we had saw, which is going to be, let's say we needed to change something with this, let's say our date or whatnot, we needed to edit, we can use that first option once we click on the checkbox there, and we're back into where we're able to edit this. And you can actually edit the existing template as well. So if you needed to make changes, maybe it was a small little change for this specific one, you could do so here. If we go back to our campaigns, we can go on to our next option, which is going to be the clone. So just to show you, we're going to get rid of this one by just filtering on our status of scheduled. And then we're going to go ahead and clone. And what's going to happen is it's going to kind of give you that title here, letting you know that this is a duplicate. But we can go ahead and say that this is going to be maybe for Math Center. And then we could go ahead and change just like that one thing, save our changes. And it's just requiring us to select that same template. And I think it's pulling from just the one. So we'll go ahead and use that same template, but we'll just label it the Math Center. And that should save. So you can see we have our duplicate here. So we may have wanted to use like a more specific template if we wanted to get the location to that. But you can see that it's scheduled for the same time. It's using the same template, but has maybe a different set of students or a different name to it. And then lastly is going to be our recipients. We can see the group of people that this is going to after it's been set up. That's going to be that same list that we saw when we were creating it. We really do have preview as well. It's going to be the same as kind of in the the system when we had saw it before, just giving you an idea so you don't have to click into the campaign to see what it looks like. If you needed to delete any of these, we do have that option as well. You may want to keep them if they are, in the future, because you could always, change them. But as you saw when we were on our all locations for these previous ones, it's going to keep that for historical reasons. We want to make sure that we have a log of who this went to, and that was going to be our last button here. That's our view email logs. And that's going to show who this was sent to. So you can see that this was sent to Jonas, and it was on May 14th. And that's going to be for any of them that have gone in the past. And that kind of covers this module. What we can last cover is going to be how we can use the external Microsoft mail server. And this is going to allow you to actually have a, sending limit of 10,000 emails per inbox, which is a little bit more than what we can do with our, standalone, going through Accudemia. So if you guys are looking to reach more than, our limit of students, you guys can use this external Microsoft mail server. And how we can actually get to that is the administration control panel and the localization settings, which I'll show you in just a moment. But basically this can be set at the college level or center level. So if you guys, maybe have different servers for each, you guys can configure that as so. So pulling that over here, we're going to go into administration control panel. And then our localization options are going to show up here with this map. And then we're going to set this at our college level. And if you scroll down, you'll see the external Microsoft mail server. And we can click configure Microsoft here. And then you can see it's not been connected, but once I click on here, it's going to bring us to basically Microsoft and connect to that. So that's how you'll be able to use that integration to kind of increase the number of emails you guys are able to send out in these campaigns. Oop, jumped a little too far there, but that concludes our Accudemia email campaigns. If there's any questions, we'll be free to take those now.
So with the Accudemia email, and maybe this was talked about, so I apologize if I missed it. When students receive that email, who does it appear that it's coming from?
So that can be configured as well. So you can actually change what the logo is at the top of those. Let me pull this window back over for you guys. So going in, this can actually be configured under appearance and themes. I believe it's going to show, yeah, it's one of these logos here. So let me just find exactly which one.
Hey, Mark, I think it's under general.
Is it general? My apologies.
Yeah, no, it's okay. But yeah, and then once you get there,
Yeah, I
there's
know
like
we have our
email.
logos. Yeah, so it's this logo email confirmation. So you can change that, and that's going to change who it's coming from. You can also change the, domain of what the email is coming from once that server is actually set. It should say that it's coming from you guys rather than it's coming from us.
And if they're not using their own server, I think that might be what she's asking. The
Right.
Accudemia one is no reply at accudemia.net, and if they try to reply, it just basically will let them know that it's unmonitored inbox. And you can set your own reply email though in the email templates too.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and Monica, did you have a question as well?
I did, Rachel. Thank you. Hi, Mark. For the daily limits, how many emails can Accudemia send through this feature?
I believe it's roughly 500, I believe is our cap. I can get back to you on a firm set because I think that's what we were set for testing. I just want to make sure that that's what we had capped at.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any other questions? You can raise your hand, unmute yourself, put them in the chat. Mira.
So we have also like the send a quick message. So you can send like groups and emails to students. Is it possible like to add hyperlinks to send a quick message, or we have to do it through the email campaign?
So if it's just like text hyperlinks, like for them to click on, it definitely will work through the email campaign because we do have it to where like even the Accudemia URL can be sent. That's like kind of like hyperlink, in itself. But for the quick messages, I believe it would work as well. If not, they're still probably able to, copy that link and paste it in if it's not, put into a hyperlink.
Currently, I don't see like how to do it like in the quick messages, but I know it's working in the email campaign.
We could maybe have a short meeting and meet and see if we could, troubleshoot something there for you. I see another hand up. Monica? Or is it Monique? I think it's Monique, sorry.
That's okay. Yep, it's Monique. I was following along and was like doing it step by step. And one thing I noticed is that all of our past sections show up when it's time to add the recipients. Is there any way to have it so that only active recipients show up, or active courses so that you can add recipients?
So it's based on the subject areas that are in the system, and those are kind of like college-wide for, and sorry if my screen just flashed on you guys. I was just gonna give you an idea of what it would look like. So once you have like your subject areas in here, if you're not using any of these, you could make them not active, and then they should maybe, not show up in that list. If they are, then we could take a look at, maybe filtering that, but it's probably because they're still active in this list. Are they maybe still doing that?
Where is that list from?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the top bar, it's administration.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could go into your campus setup and subject areas, and that's going to be all of your subjects that show up in that list that are coming up.
Yeah. So it might be a sidebar that we need to have, because
Okay.
these are classes that are showing up are not active.
Yeah, we can most certainly take a look at that with you.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. And I see Julie has her hand up.
In the recipients section, is it possible to select more than one subject area group to send an email to maybe all the chemistry classes instead of just Gen Chem 1, for example?
No, so it's for a specific subject area, but something that I would propose is if you were looking to send it to, multiple, you could run a report that pulls all of those students and have that report create a group for you, and then you could use the existing group to then send it to all of those students.
Perfect. Thank you.
Of course.
I think we covered a lot today with those questions. If anybody does have any questions at any point in time, you can always contact us directly at support@accudemia.com, or you can email me, Rachel C@engineerica.com.